Smorgasbord Radio Show.
Well, hello, welcome, greetings. This is the Smorgasbord Radio Show. We like to call it the SmorgShow podcast for short. Smorgasbord, variety of topics, variety of fun, variety of things. You know how it goes. This is Chris, and this is episode 122, recorded March 27th, 2021. Waiting for my second guest to arrive. Let's see who it is this week. Oh, man, you got to get those tires replaced or something. Oh! Ow! Oh! You okay? Are you okay?
President Joe Biden here.
Hey, welcome, Jerry.
How you doing? Well, considering what it sounded more like Joe Biden was coming into the room, not me. So I just wanted to go with that.
Well, there you go. You just alienated half our audience.
Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I didn't.
Actually, after the last several episodes, I don't think we have much
of an audience anymore.
Well, of any audience. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I know you're still banned in a number of countries, so that's.
Yeah, we've been banned in 3 additional countries. We've been. Where was I last time?
Well, North Korea definitely.
North Korea, Iran.
And was it Venezuela?
Syria,
okay.
And Cuba.
Okay, that makes sense.
And
Russia? Was Russia?
No, Russia's still a big dialer in.
Okay, Poon's cool with you. That's good to know.
Yeah, I think we have 5 countries now that have canceled us. We've been canceled, my man.
Hey, man, cancel culture, it's a thing.
I don't really mind being canceled by those countries honestly. But yeah. We're still very big in Saudi Arabia.
India, you're probably pretty
India.
big.
We're okay. Well, yeah. Actually, we're actually doing better in India than Baba's podcast. Baba's podcast is doing very well in South Africa and Saudi Arabia.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And but speaking of Baba, all right, he's starting to get a little bit arrogant given his downloads are exceeding ours. He just released. Normally, we air his segment on the show first, and then he follows by using it for his stream, for his podcast, the Baba Gonesh podcast.
Yeah.
He decided to go rogue, and he actually already put it out a week ago. So now we're going to be looking like the second-rate, operation here. We're going to be playing a rerun of basically Baba. So anyway, Baba's coming up later. As always, I don't think he's ever missed a show.
If there's a spotlight, he'll be in front of it.
Exactly. So we are now 1 year into the 15-day to slow the spread, right?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And I was remembered. I mean, there's been a lot of reminders about the 1 year anniversary, but what really reminded me just this past week was that every February I usually have my lawnmower serviced. And last, they actually pick it up from my house and then they take it, and then it's usually done, by mid-March, just in time for the spring growing season. And last year they picked it up from my house. And of course, then the lockdown happened. I'm like, I don't have a lawnmower. It's mid-March. Okay, let's see what happens. Maybe I can wait 2 more weeks. We have not time to mow the lawn yet. It's still mid-March. Mm-hmm. April 1st came around. April 15th came around. Grass is starting to, it's definitely green now. It's going to start growing. By the end of April, there's no lawnmower. I call the place. They're not open. There's an outgoing message. Due to the COVID pandemic, we have closed operations. No outgoing message to tell me, all right, what about all the people that have their lawnmowers held hostage by your establishment? So I go over there in person to see what's going on. They have a sign, we're closed due to COVID. It's like, no, there's no messaging for anybody who's got their lawnmower. So I put a nastygram under the door in addition to leaving several voicemails by this point. And I said, And I've been looking for an excuse for a new lawnmower because the thing was about 15 years old. I could really use a new one.
Mm-hmm.
So this threat was not like one of those that I don't intend to carry through if they call my bluff. I said, you can keep my lawnmower if you service it and you want to charge me. Cause this is like the oil change, the oil filter and all that. It's usually like $120 a year. I say, if you service it and you try to bill me, I will not pay. That is no longer my mower. You keep it. So I ended up getting a new lawnmower. This is like middle of May by this point. And my lawn's like, 8 inches tall.
Looking like a little section of the Illinois prairie.
Yeah, exactly. And they called me, I think it was like June 1. Your lawnmower's ready. And I ripped into them. I said, did you not get any of my emails, my letter under the door, my voicemails telling you I did not want it? Yeah, well, we were just, a little afraid to open up. You know how it goes. No, I don't know how it goes. You have a business to run. You could have at least had an outgoing message telling me, hey, we're not servicing it. You can come and pick it up in the yard or something.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway.
Oh, use your brains. Oh, that's so
the dying art.
Yeah. That's so 2019.
Yeah.
I think we all collectively lost, well, not say all of us, but a lot of people collectively lost their brains in 2020.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And that was going to something you were saying earlier, how people were basically using COVID as an excuse for poor customer service.
Oh yeah, I know. I still hear it. Yeah, due to COVID. It's like, oh, come on, it's been a year. You there's no excuse anymore. You should know how to run your business. Mitigation plans. You have ways to do things differently. You've had a year to think about this creatively to manage. Oh, our suppliers are still,
Okay,
whatever. By the way, we already said this is a SmorgShow podcast. This is my good friend Jerry Malauskas for almost 40 years now. Dave Jackson, my old partner of this show back in high school, was supposed to be joining me on this episode, but he called up with saying that he had an ailing back, was keeping him hunkered down for a little bit longer. He hopes to be out sometime in April. So Jerry, as a good co-host, was ready for the fill-in slot to backfill on a moment's notice.
Yeah.
So, hey Jerry, what you doing this weekend? Are you doing anything? No, just get me out of the city.
Yeah, that's basically it because of COVID. I mean, what do you do?
You're the opposite. Due to COVID, I got nothing going on.
Pretty much. And would just get me out of the city is very true because it does get on your nerves after a while. It really does.
Yeah.
So I came out not only to do the podcast, but to get some country quiet.
Yes, and we already have our ritual now. Every time you come out, pick you up at the train station. We usually stop off at the local brewery and have a pint together.
Cold one.
We went out to a sustainable. What do you call those places? The farm to table kind of place, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. And you had a nice vegan risotto.
It was a Très Bien.
What was that?
Très Bien. Wrong language, I know.
What? Très Bien.
It means very good.
Oh. That was muy bien.
Well, I heard Très Bien too, so I don't know. What that
Trey,
well, all right.
Whatever.
Yeah. It's not worth breaking down. It was very good.
So what are we going to do on this episode for the next hour or so? Well, I've got several good things teed up here.
Cool.
So I found this story this past week. Have you heard about this Missouri pastor? His name is Stewart-Allen Clark.
Okay.
He has taken a leave of absence, per se, from his church amid backlash after he went viral for a sermon where he made controversial comments telling married women in the congregation how to keep up their looks, warning that otherwise their husbands might stray. So apparently he preaches, or at least preached, at the First General Baptist Church in Malden, Missouri.
Okay.
About his views on the importance of having an attractive wife, telling women to practice weight control, warning them against wearing sweatpants too much and not giving their husbands a reason to look around. So because I'm the great investigative journalist that you've come to know me as, I went out and acquired the sermon. And so I've diced it up into
Segments.
14 smaller segments that I thought we could just digest together.
Or indigest.
Indigest. So I thought we could just play these and kick back and kind of chuckle along the way.
Yes.
Since we're talking about cancel culture, I guess the pastor has been canceled. Because, I mean, taking a leave of absence, I don't think he's coming back. I don't think it's like, hey, go away 2 weeks.
Think about what you did.
Right.
Probably not. But, I guess from what you were saying about this particular pastor, probably should have been canceled.
Probably. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. I mean, I think he crossed the line.
Yeah. All right. So let's play this first clip here. This is, the basic theme of this is your man needs an attractive wife. Don't give him a reason to look elsewhere.
Then I want you to know a need that a man has that he won't ever tell you about, but since I'm the preacher man, I'll say it. Your man needs an attractive wife. Well, anybody else thinks about, well, I shouldn't say that. Your man needs an attractive wife. A hockey player said, he said, I married a trophy wife, but now she looks like the Stanley Cup. You see what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. All right? That's what I'm talking about. And ladies here, here's the thing you need to know about men. Don't give him a reason to be like this distracted boyfriend. You hear me? Don't give him a reason to be looking around. Hello? Don't do that. I've said this for a long time. I'll say it again. I really don't believe women understand how visual men are. I really don't. I don't think it's in their capacity, their ability to understand how visual that men are. I really don't think women understand how important it is for a man to have a beautiful woman on his arm. It's really important to a man to do that.
Oh boy.
And he's just getting started, by the way.
Yeah. He's getting started. It's the beginning of the end for him.
I can imagine they're just sitting out there in the congregation and they're just wondering, where is this guy going?
Yeah, but the thing is, when he made one comment there, or kind of funny comment, there's a few ladies that were chuckling. So
yeah, I think it's early. I don't think they know what they're in for yet.
They're in for yet. Yeah.
I think each you'll hear each segment gets more outrageous than the previous. He's just getting warmed up here.
Oh, isn't that nice to know?
Yeah. All right. So this next one is more about making your man feel like he's got the best wife when he goes to the Christmas party. Okay.
So here's what you want your man to say when he takes you to the Christmas party at the office. My friend may have married a trophy wife, but compared to mine, she doesn't even qualify. That's what ultimately you want your man to say about you. To him, you should be the most beautiful woman in the room. Amen, ladies?
Amen.
Amen, ladies. Yeah, I'm sure there was a thundering chorus of affirmation for right after he said that. Not.
I'm switching over to my comfortable lounge here.
Well, I see you popped open a cold one, so I guess we're good for that.
Yeah, this isn't actually the official cracking open. The second half of the show is when we tap into the whiskey. But
I understand.
I just need something for my palate.
You need your muse. You're imbibing some of your muse. It's what's the word I'm looking for here? It's inspiring you to make the show even better. And I think I'm holding you up, so you get back to the show.
Okay, thank you. All right. This next one's good. This is after the wedding. It's typically when women let themselves go.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, okay, why is it so many times that women, after they get married, let themselves go? Why is it? Why do they do that? Here's how way too many women are. I got him now. The chase is over. Hey, that's where you're wrong. The chase ain't never over. The chase ain't never over. And by God, if he don't love me the way I look now, he ought to look at his own spare tire in the mirror. Now look, I'm not saying every woman can be the epic, the epic trophy wife of all time, like Melania Trump. I'm not saying that at all. Now, most women can't be trophy wives, but you know, like her, maybe you're a participation trophy. I don't know, but all I can say is not everybody looks like that. Amen. Not everybody looks like that. But you don't need to look like a butch either.
A butch.
A butch.
Well,
It's just getting worse for this guy.
he's sinking. It's like he's in a pool of quicksand and he's sinking, and it's like he doesn't realize it.
He doesn't know yet.
You know,
You're the one guy out there going, "Hey man." I'm sure he didn't have a wife with him.
Probably not.
Hopefully not.
Well, if he did have a wife, there was probably a very he didn't have a good week after this.
No.
A lot of cold shouldering going on, I think. But let's hear some more of pearls of wisdom from this.
Men need to have
Men
have a need for the women to look like women. Okay, no sweatpants.
Hey, here's something you need to know. You need to know this. Men have a need for their women to look like women. Hey, sweatpants don't cut it all the time, huh? Wearing flip-flops and pajamas to Walmart, that ain't gonna work. Ain't nothing attractive about that. It ain't. And men want their wives to look good at home and in public. Can I get an amen?
Same guy again.
Same guy.
Yeah, you're right. He probably doesn't have.
He doesn't have his wife there. He wouldn't have been able to do a second amen.
No, it would have been. He'd been clocked by that point.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that this guy is a real. He's a gem. I wonder what his wife is thinking.
Yeah.
Probably in the back with a big roller pin. This guy gets off the.
Okay, now he's starting to get into the Bible. Now he's gonna quote.
Justify his.
I guess so. Although I think he refers to Eve here. So.
And she looked good because she was naked in the Garden of Eden.
That's right.
Here's a secret you need to know, ladies. God made men to be drawn to beautiful women. We are made this way. We can't help ourselves. We are like that. That's how God made us. Do you think Eve wasn't attracted in the garden? He made men to be attracted to beautiful women. By the way, that's why he married you. He thought you were the most beautiful thing he had ever seen in his life. And that's why he married you. Now, you can call it juvenile, you can call it immature, you can call it sexist, whatever you want to.
Yeah, I think I can call it all those. All
all the above.
All the above. He was sort of using scripture, but he didn't actually quote any.
No, that's coming up.
Oh, okay.
I've got some. We'll get there.
Okay, good.
All right, here we go. Clip 6, go.
But here's another secret you need to know. Ladies, this is the way God made us. This is the way we are. Men are going to look. He made us to look. You want them to be looking at you. Don't let yourself go. It's important that your man has a good-looking woman on his arm. But you say, how can I do that? Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. Weight control.
And this is coming from a guy who could probably lose, 75 pounds of his own.
Yeah, well, I don't think logic is his strong suit. Let's just say that. Logical arguments are not his strong suit.
It gets worse from here. There's some gems coming up here.
Can't wait.
Yeah. I don't even know how to lead off anymore. it speaks for itself.
That's
we'll
right.
just go. Here we go.
So somebody said, what's the difference between a man's girlfriend and a man's wife and a man's girlfriend? Oh, about 60 pounds. Well, maybe so.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And the hits just keep coming.
Here he's talking about the excuses that women make for, if they have some issues shedding the pounds. Okay. Because he's got the answers here. This is all biblically based.
Well, I'll tell you, the Lord doesn't want you to look dumpy. If you're a woman, he does not want you to look dumpy.
Right.
But seriously, I know some women can't help it. It's their thyroid, it's my prostate, their thyroid, whatever you want to say. And most of the time, it's too many cupcakes. That's what it is.
Did he say prostate? Women don't have prostates.
You're right. Play that again.
But seriously, I know some women can't help it. It's their thyroid, it's my prostate.
Oh,
their
his
thyroid,
prostate.
whatever you want to say. And most of the time, it's too many cupcakes. That's what it is.
Yeah, but...
Oh, he said my in the sense that they were saying it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, they don't have a prostate.
Yeah, women don't have prostates. This guy is a real intellectual powerhouse, I gotta say. Well, okay. I mean, so yeah, those women's prostates acting up, not allowing them to lose that 60 pounds. Okay. And what else has he got?
Now he gets into makeup. The importance of wearing makeup.
Because that's exact. Eve had perfect makeup.
That's right.
In the Garden of Eden, always spot on.
That's right.
Of course, it doesn't matter the fact that she didn't have any other clothing on, but that's beside the point.
Exactly.
Okay.
One of her favorite expressions is, food never tastes as good as skinny feels. And so I'm glad I have a wife that understands that's the kind of man I am, because all men are this way. And they want to have a good-looking woman. And another thing about weight control, let me add this, it's makeup. Makeup. Makeup's praise God for makeup. It's like Bondo for dented vehicles. It's like crack filler for, drywall. The old preacher used to say, I ain't against makeup. Bless God if the barn door needs paint it. Makeup is a good thing. One little boy said to the other boy, why do girls wear makeup and perfume? He said, because they're ugly and they stink. You don't want to be ugly and stink. You don't want to be that. So, wear makeup. It does miracles. Miracles.
Miracles.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle that he wasn't dragged off the...
I'm sure at this point somebody had to be saying, how do we get the cane?
Yeah, get this loser off the stage.
Get the hook.
Or off the altar or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Oh boy.
God. That's special.
But now he goes on about makeup and how, I can't, it's difficult to really, I can't.
Bondo, by the way.
Yeah.
So basically a woman's face is like a wrecked car.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The cracks in the drywall.
Cracks in the drywall, cracked drywall. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just making friends and influencing people left and right, this guy.
Or how about this? How about you ask your husband, not your girlfriend, not your hairdresser, not your mama. Why don't you ask him what makeup looks good on you? It's important that he thinks you're hot. It's important because he's going to look, and you want him looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? You got anything you want to say about that?
The makeup thing. I think I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, just the whole tenor of his sermon at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Now he gets into the whole sex drive thing. So
I want to make this one quick point.
Sure.
If this sermon were like back in, 1960, 1965, you could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
It's 2021.
And he can't.
And the guy should have looked at the calendar before he actually got on stage and said the stuff he said. Just saying.
Yeah. No, good point.
Sexual intimacy. Okay? This is marital counseling, remember? This is what your man needs, remember? Scientists have discovered, by the way, A food that diminishes a woman's sex drive. It's called wedding cake. Yeah.
He's a cracker. he's a wild one there.
I forgot. I edited out a part that he talked about that he used to be a marriage counselor and he's no longer practicing.
Gee, I wonder why. That's a mystery to me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I have just a few more here. Okay, now we start getting into scripture. So here we go. Buckle up.
Okay, this is good.
But here's the deal. After you get married, the Bible says, men, put this on your headboard at the house, okay? In your bedroom. Put it on there. Here it says, 1 Corinthians 7:4. The wife has no longer all rights over her body. Woo! But she shares them with her husband. There's a double. Woo! Woo! So whenever she's not in the mood, dig out your Bible.
So he's talking about 1 Corinthians 7:4.
Okay, you dug out your Bible.
Yeah, I like to keep this in the SmorgShow lounge.
Yeah,
because it really needs it.
Yeah.
He leaves out a major part of 7:4 here. So let me just read this. This is from the New Living Translation. The husband should fulfill his wife's sexual needs, and the wife should fulfill her husband's needs. The wife gives authority over her body to her husband, and the husband gives authority over his body to his wife.
Sounds pretty equitable.
He doesn't mention the man part.
Well, that wouldn't go well with his general thesis.
No, it wouldn't. Now, in the little, this is a study Bible, so it's got some notes here corresponding with the passage. And it says that spiritually our bodies belong to God when we become Christians because Jesus Christ bought us by paying the price to release us from sin. Physically, our bodies belong to our spouses because God designed marriage so that through the union of husband and wife, the two become one. Paul stressed complete equality in sexual relationships. Neither male nor female should seek dominance or autonomy.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So there you go. I had to bring this out because it was sort of incomplete there, I think. You took it out of context or something.
Hey, what the heck? Is this Sunday? I didn't know I was in church.
Don't worry, the whiskey's coming soon.
Okay.
All right. 2 more here.
Men have to have sexual intimacy, or they're not happy. It's just the way it is. So every man has this need, and here's the deal. We can't help it. Women spell, affection, T-A-L-K, and men spell S-E-X. Now, ladies, you need to understand something. When a man, this is serious now. When a man gets married, in his mind, a Christian man, when he gets married, and he stands up before the preacher and all these people and God, when he says, I do, this is what he's thinking, and you need to understand this, that he's committing himself exclusively, sexually, to you. Now remember, this is a need that he has, that he can't deny, and God made him that way. And in his mind, he is limiting himself to only you because he loves you. Listen, every other man's needs can be met. Admiration can be met somewhere else. He can have friends, go fishing, go golfing, whatever. He can find somebody that admires him at the office. But sex can't be satisfied anywhere else that pleases God other than in and with you. He's restricted himself. He's restricted himself on purpose to you that for that need to be. And when you push him away, pretend you're asleep. When you wear body armor to bed, or your grandma's nightie passed down for the second, third generation, that puts the fire out, and his needs aren't met.
Well, there's a lot that you can unpack from that.
That was a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact is, spouses on both ends should be working to keep themselves attractive to each other. If they're going to make the commitment, a lifelong commitment, saying, you're the person that I'm going to be with not only just emotionally but sexually as well, then yeah, you should probably, be amenable to that and do what's necessary. But his emphasis on the one side over the other,
Right.
in this really kind of, and going back to what your previous quote from Corinthians, it is basically he's willfully leaving out half the picture in order to focus on it actually kind of reminds me of another quote from the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus says, don't point out the speck in your neighbor's eye until you've cleared the mote out of your eye. And from this, what I'm seeing is all out of moat, a moat pointing out a lot of specks is what I see. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you got it.
Yea, verily.
Yea, verily. Okay, here's the last one. Let's bring it on home here.
That's what he does. So listen, ladies, we are not lust monsters. We're not that lust monster that chase you around the bedroom every night. We can't help ourselves. God made us this way. He made us this way. Listen, can I just tell you this? This may never pass your mind when you're saying I do married, but I want to tell you, it does his. It's the main reason he married you.
Really?
Really? Is that it? The main reason
is to have I didn't want to use a main sex part. I have my solid sex partner now.
Yeah.
For the eyes of God, this is the chick I'm going to be doing the rest of my life. Great.
That's right.
And that's the thing I'm mostly concerned about. Emotional support, bonding, raising a family. Secondary at best.
Right.
This is, well,
yeah.
The things I want to say, but this is a PG show, so I want to keep it PG.
No, I get it. So,
I should say G. General audience.
So last week, the General Baptist Ministries, the national organization for Clark's denomination, issued a statement saying that their council had met to address concerns from Clark's sermon after it received significant exposure. The sermon included comments that are not consistent with the position and values of General Baptist, the organization wrote, noting that Clark had resigned from his position as the slated moderator for their upcoming July meeting. General Baptist Ministries added that General Baptist's belief that every woman was created in the image of God and they should be valued for that reason. Furthermore, we believe that all individuals, regardless of any other factors, are so loved by God that Christ died for them. So he has taken a leave of absence. So anyway, there's a video on YouTube of this guy too. So.
Oh, I've got to check that one out. That's for sure.
We put a picture of him on the image for the podcast episode, so you can check it out there. So continuing along this theme, I don't know if you remember Anthony Luperini. Does that name ring a bell to you?
Well, Anthony does.
He was he did some shows with us very early on when we first kicked the show off. He was on our game show when Allie and I did Family Feud. He was on several of our SmorgShow theater podcast episodes.
Mm-hmm.
He came out and sang at the campfire Smorgs episode. He was on one of the songs there. Anyway, he came back and he said, you know what? If you're going to be talking about this pastor, I'd like to submit a bit for this. So he is going to talk about, we're going to go back to the good old year of 1955. There was a publication called Housekeeping Monthly.
Mm.
And they had a famous article called The Good Wife's Guide of how a wife should treat their husband at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't really stand the test of time too well. But Anthony thinks it's very relevant for today. And I think he is going to
narrate it
or something. I don't know. He submitted this over we got our Google Share site. So he just posted the audio clip, kind of like how Baba submits his correspondence to us.
Okay.
So we'll be right back here. This is the Smorg Show podcast. the smorgasbord radio show that you've heard so much about. Is this on? Hey everybody, this is Anthony Luperini. You remember me from the old SmorgShow theater days. Yeah, way back then. I hadn't been invited back since. I don't know why, but it's about time. And it's appropriate because I've been asked to talk about how to be a good housewife. I mean, how to be a good wife. This is all for the dames out there, and I think you're going to appreciate this. Now, let me say first and foremost, just a disclaimer. These are not my principles. These are not my guidelines. These are timeless principles going back to the good year 1955. This is from Housekeeping Monthly magazine. My dad had this magazine for years. This came into the house. In fact, this goes back to my granddad. I remember going over to the house when I was a little tyke, and he had this magazine sitting in his magazine rack. He had a nice rack, and I used to, thumb through it, look at the pictures, and try to read it. I didn't really understand it until many, many years later. So I came across this recently. I thought, hey, this is probably relevant for these days, and so I'll share it. So here we go. Here's how to be a good wife. Still relevant today. First and foremost, have dinner ready. All right. Plan ahead even the night before to have a delicious meal ready on time for his return from work. When your husband is out all day, he wants to know that when he walks through that door, that meal is sitting on the table. Okay. This is a way to let him know that you've been thinking about him all day. He's been on your mind ever since he left in the morning, and you've been crying, waiting for his grand return to the house. Okay. So most men are very hungry when they get home. The prospect of having a good meal is part of that warm welcome that he needs. All right. Second, just as important as having the meal ready, prepare yourself. Okay. Take 15 minutes to rest up so you look refreshed when he arrives. He doesn't want to walk into some worn out looking dame sitting around not doing anything. Touch up your makeup, put a ribbon in your hair, be fresh looking. Okay. He's just been out with a lot of work-weary people, and he needs something better to look at when he walks in. Next, be a little bit more gay. Not like that. Be happy and a little bit more interesting for him. His boring day may need a lift, and one of your duties is to provide it. Next, clear away all the clutter. Make one last trip through the main part of the house just before your husband arrives. Use the white glove test. Run a dust cloth over the tables. Get rid of all that layer of dust. He doesn't want to be looking at that. During the cooler months of the year, you should prepare to light a fire for him to unwind by. Your husband's going to feel like he's reached a haven of rest and order, and it'll also give you a nice lift too. After all, catering to his comfort will provide you with the immense personal satisfaction. All right. Next, minimize all the noise. At the time of his arrival, eliminate all the noise of the washer, dryer, and definitely the vacuum. He doesn't want to walk into some squealing, high-pitched machine you're pushing around there on the floor. Get rid of that thing, all right? And also encourage the children to be quiet. Send them away. Send them to their room and tell them to pipe down. Next, I've said this before, but in many ways, but just be happy to see him. You should be running up to him and say, "Oh, honey, you're home. I'm glad." But then keep quiet. Just greet him with a warm smile and show sincerity in your desire to please him. Listen to him. You may have a dozen important things to tell him, but the moment that he arrives is not the time to tell him. Let him talk first. Remember, his topics of conversation are more important than yours. Don't greet him with complaints and problems. He doesn't want to hear that yapping. Just, for example, don't complain if he's late for dinner or if he stays out all night long. Count this as minor compared to what he might have been through when he was at work all day. Make him feel comfortable. Have him lean back in his nice, comfortable chair, recliner, or even lie him down in the bedroom. Have a cool or even warm drink, depending on the time of year, ready for him, all right? Next, arrange his pillow. Plump it up, whatever. You know what I mean. Fluff it up. Take off his shoes. Speak in a low, soothing, and pleasant voice. He doesn't want to hear that yapping, all right? Make sure it's pleasant on his ears. Next, don't ask him any questions about his actions or question his judgment or integrity. Remember, he is the master of the house, and as such will always exercise his will with fairness and truthfulness. You have no right to question him. And finally, the best tip of it all, a good wife always knows her place. All right, I hope this was helpful for all you dames out there, and feel free to write me. Feedback at SmorgShowPodcast.com. My name's Anthony Luperini, and be good.
You're listening to the Smorg Show podcast.
Bang, zoom. I suppose you didn't have time to sew these either, huh?
Your socks. I'm sorry, Ralph. No, I didn't.
No excuse or anything? Have you got any excuse why you didn't sew the socks? I know why you haven't got an excuse, Alice. You're afraid to give me an excuse. Because you know that I know that you know that I know what you've been doing around here all day. Sitting there fooling around.
You know something, right after you left the house this morning, I got in one of those silly moods of mine. You know how I get sometimes? So just for laughs, I thought, well, I'll do the breakfast dishes and make the beds and take the garbage down. Then when I came back up, I was still in such a funny mood. You know, I thought, why should I settle down to the drudgery of mending your socks? So I scrubbed the kitchen floor. Then, you know something, I was still so giddy and so gay over this whole thing that I thought I'd really enjoy myself, so I washed all the windows. Then, Ralph, I went out and I did the marketing, and I came back with a pot roast, and I put the pot roast on the stove, and while it was cooking, I went in and I cleaned out the bedroom closet. Now, I know that this may sound like work to you, Ralph, but it isn't. It's fun. It's such good sport. Do you know why it's such good sport, Ralph? Because I'm so loaded with modern conveniences.
This is Breaking Baba News, live from Punjab. Indian man has been stabbed to death by a rooster. Tangula Satish, age 45, was stabbed to death by his own rooster after he attached a 3-inch knife to its leg for an illegal cockfight. According to the police report, the man fitted his rooster with a knife, which was tied around its leg while training in the village of Lantuthur in Telangana. During the cockfighting training, the rooster then stabbed Satish in the groin. When the bird he had just armed for the fight fluttered in panic and tried to escape. Satish was hit by the rooster's knife in his groin and started bleeding heavily, said Police Inspector B. Jivan, revealing that the victim died on his way to a local hospital after sustaining heavy blood loss. Al Jazeera is reporting that authorities are now seeking the identities and whereabouts of the other 15 organizers who could be facing manslaughter charges, where each organizer could face up to 2 years in prison if found guilty. As for the rooster, it has survived, as it was seen in a variety of photos that went viral on social media, showing it tied up with a rope and pecking on grains at the police station. In these cockfights, banned in India in 1960, 2 specifically bred roosters have a knife or a blade attached to their legs, and then people bet on who will win the gruesome fight, which is determined when one contestant is either dead or has fled. Despite the nationwide ban on cockfighting, it remains common in the southern Indian states of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka, often under the watch of powerful local politicians with big money bets. This particular incident makes the term cockfight even more appropriate. This has been Baba Gonesh, live with Breaking Baba News from Punjab.
Who writes this stuff? No, it's serious. It's a real Cock-a-Doodle Death is what that one's called.
Cock-a-Doodle Death. Well, kind of is true, isn't it? And of course, the fighting cock with the knife stabbed him in his groin.
Oh, I can't even imagine. How gruesome.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome that he did that to the. I'm not one to laugh at anyone's death or anything like that, or to make it light of it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I won't be 100%. Let's just say I'm not weeping over the guy's death. That's all I'm going to say about that.
No, I didn't even know him.
Yeah, well, that's true too. You know what? Hey, this is actually I've just thought of a phrase that's perfect for this segment or this what Baba is talking about. It's a very basic one. It's basically play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
What a prize that was.
Exactly.
Hey, before we start going into the second half of the show, I just got this off the wire today. This is very exciting news. Mm-hmm. As you know, I think early in the year, you heard that Philip Donald was back in the studio making a new album.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of time to, write and reflect on his prison time.
Well, I would say that's probably was one of the perfect times for him to do that.
Yeah. So he sent me his working album cover, his working title.
Okay.
And it's totally top secret. He says it's not to be posted anywhere on the internet.
Okay.
But I just have to show it to you, and he wanted our reaction.
Okay.
So I have it on my iPad. I'm just gonna hand it over to Jerry, and you can initial reaction.
I think of those Chinese Buddhas that you see, and I never thought there was an actual individual human being who looked exactly like one of those Chinese Buddha statues, the fat Buddha statues. And he did it.
Well, he's been working out. He says that he's very comfortable in his body now. He's shed a lot of weight since the first album.
Well,
and of course, the first album, it wasn't really him. It was a sort of the ceramic statue of Philip.
Oh.
Some artist made that of him.
Okay.
We've got the album cover in the studio.
Well,
here.
in that regard, comparing the two, yeah, I would say he actually has lost some weight, and he seems to be very chilled out. Hanging out because he's well. I can't write. Can I say what this?
Yeah, you can. I think he's okay with us telling the working title, but
breaks loose. Oh yeah, Philip Donald breaks loose songs for a COVID world, and
of course, break loose is the title track.
Yeah,
which we aired already. It's been like 2 years since the last song. Come on, Philip, write something.
Yeah, he also seems, according to this photo, this album cover, he seemed to have broke loose of his clothes too. Or maybe they just
I don't know.
But yeah, that's it's interesting.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could be a hit.
Yeah, you think you just should go with this? I think it's ready.
Oh yeah, why not? Why not?
Okay, well, I'm sure he'll appreciate the feedback and the honest review. Sorry, this is sort of not an inside joke for those who've been around. Philip Donald is a resident artist who Allie met on the playground when she was about 12 and brought him home one day. And he got into some trouble. It was a misunderstanding. He was giving candy out to kids, and he ended up in prison for a year or 6 months or something like that. And then it's a long story. He's been with us for a while. He's been writing music. In fact, as we go into the next segment, I'll just play something from his last album. Since April Fool's Day is coming up, April 1st is just around the corner. I'll play this.
Okay.
What is this I just found in my sink? Oh my, it's underwear. Under the bed is caviar. Behind the shelf is rotten cheese. What is this? Am I being punked? No, it's just a holiday. It's just April Fool's Day. I'm afraid to wash my filthy hands, 'cause the soap will self-destruct. I can't wait for my bath, 'cause I'm just too scared. People sometimes go just way too far. Like today I found some tar. Oh, April Fool's Day is cool. Cool, yo!
All right. Well. Hi, Jerry.
Hey, Chris. I see we're setting a mood here.
We have to change the mood drastically after.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Got the candles going. I got the. It's okay for guys to have candles.
I see nothing
Right?
wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that at all, sir. It's just about being relaxed. That's all.
So
It's cool, yo.
cool, yo. I'm going to just. Oh, jeez. Whiskey's flowing like mud around here. Okay.
Kind of look more like maple syrup, but I get the point.
You know, I'm a little disappointed. I was really excited that I found this brand of whiskey when I was in Nashville last year. It's the Old Smoky.
Old Smoky whiskey, okay.
But then I come back here and I see it in Binny's, which is our local liquor store. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I mean, liquor stores, they order imports and stuff.
Right.
But now I'm starting to see it at like grocery stores. It's like, it's not special anymore, man. I thought this was like, authentic, comes from Nashville. It's the only place to get it. Now I can find it at, Meijer and Jewel. And it's like, it's not special anymore.
Yeah, well,
It goes.
See, the thing is, you were a pioneer.
Yeah.
You were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I know. I think it's because of this show.
Of course.
The
peanut butter whiskey renaissance is because of the Chris. Well, wait a minute. It's a smorgasbord show.
Yeah.
I was, it's the funniest thing. I was a smorg broadcast, but I always think of because you and I go back a long ways. I was thinking back to the days of Chris and Dave. Dave, who was not here today, but so the minute I was thinking of smorgasbord, I was like, Chris and, wait a minute, but Dave isn't here, so it can't be a Chris and Dave smorgasbord, but it can be a Chris smorgasbord. I guess it could be a Chris and Jerry smorgasbord this time around.
Well, that's why we call it the SmorgShow podcast, because it's generic enough to make it anything.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And you're right. I guess I just had a kind of like a time loop moment. I thought it was back at another time, but I guess my brain was in the early 80s again. I don't know why.
Well, since your mind is there, I might as well play this real quick, and we'll come back.
Sure.
Hey, this is pretty good. I like doing this.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. This is what you will be doing when you finish listening to Chris and Dave every Saturday night at 8. Just giving you fair warning.
Wow.
Let's keep doing this. This is great.
Come on, do it with us.
It's pretty cutting edge for a 16-year-old, 17-year-old.
Actually, that's true. Fun fact, I actually was in a room once with Dave and another gentleman, and we were doing exactly that.
Seriously?
Yeah, for like almost an hour.
What do you call that? Zen?
It's actually a mantra. You're just repeating a mantra, and it's a simple one, just Om or Aum. Yeah, it's supposed to like center you and like zen you out and all that. I kind of felt, as I remember from back then, I felt a little agitated after the whole thing was done.
Really?
That could have been some other reason. But anyway, but it did bring, see, you brought me to another memory. Going through memory lane, man.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So we always like to wrap up our show. Well, of course, we're nowhere near wrapping it up, but we're in a new segment where we've been talking about like current events, I guess. Culture, really anything. It's really just Oh, you want some porn? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna pour some.
I mean, with a candle a little bit so you don't burn your hand.
Yeah, well, that'd be. Maybe you should handle this.
Yeah,
Cause
let
you
me
know how
twist
to-
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
We got this little whiskey barrel, but it's like it holds about, I don't know,
a smidgen of whiskey,
16 ounces or something, and
well,
I have to tip it when it gets kind of low. So there you
yeah,
go.
well, there you go.
Spikes.
I get it. Yeah, Sphinx. That's right.
Sphinx.
It's not Sphinx. It's Sphinx.
Sphinx.
It's Lithuanian for cheers.
SVEIKS.
Something like that. Yeah, I believe so. Or as they say in Australian, cheers, big ears.
Cheers, big ears.
Crikey.
That doesn't sound Aussie.
What do you mean they don't sound Aussie? Aussie, well.
You could say Aussie. Sharon.
All right.
Sorry, that was really bad. That's bad. I got to work on my Aussie. So Allie, by the way, Allie used to do the show with me, if you remember. We kicked the show off about 11 years ago, and she was about 11, 12 years old, and now she is going to be getting married in about 5 months, and it's getting very real around here. I'm starting to get these gifts showing up because people are ordering from the registry, and they're getting shipped to our house because she lives in an apartment, and it's kind of a shady area, kind of honestly. And so leaving the packages out on the the main stoop, out the common area.
No,
not a good idea. So we've been getting them in the house, and I'm starting to fill up the basement again here on the ping pong table. So it's getting really real. But she's I'm not going to reveal her employer, but she sent me a snapshot of something she got from corporate. This is a corporate, and it's a message from Anne. I guess that's I don't know if the CEO, SVP, and I don't know what her
STP,
SVP, not STD,
or that too. Yeah.
The subject line is recognizing preferred first names.
Say that again.
Recognizing preferred first names. As we strive to be an inclusive community.
Oh, I got something for that.
And support a culture of belonging, the X company recognizes that many of our associates use name other than their legal names to identify themselves. We are pleased to announce that we have implemented a series of enhancements to our administrative systems that enable associates to indicate their preferred name.
Mm-hmm. Mine is Marcia, by the way, just in case you...
Marcia?
Yeah. I know I go with the name Jerry, but my preferred name is Marcia. So I'd really appreciate it if you recognize that fact.
Okay, Marcia.
Don't be such a bigot.
Marcia Malauskas.
That's right. See, it's got a ring.
It's got a good ring to it.
Exactly.
Mine is Grand High Exalted Mystic Ruler.
Oh, you're always such a down-to-earth guy, too, Chris. Always such a dirt.
And I'll prove it. Hey, Siri. What's my name? Oh, I got it.
Chris, but since we're friends, I get to call you Grand High Exalted Mystic Ruler.
See?
Oh.
Since we're friends.
We're friends, okay. Well, you never asked me to call you that before, so I guess we're not really friends.
That's right.
So Siri's your friend, but I'm not. All right, I'm out of here.
We are excited to share how the preferred name program will work. The go live date. The preferred name program will go live on Thursday, April 1st. Is it April Fool's Day?
It makes you wonder. It really does make you wonder.
So they're not inclusive until April 1st. Like this whole week, I don't think I could actually work there.
Yeah, there you go.
New associates. IT systems will now support the use of preferred first names. All new associates will be able to list their preferred first name of for their email address, systems login, as well as their display name in all of our systems. I would have fun with this one, because then all the names that show up in the IT systems, the email address, you get your own email address. Grand High Exalted Mystic Ruler at.
Well, there you go. Does this, by the way, your preferred first name, does that go along with your preferred pronouns?
It doesn't say anything about pronouns. I wonder how that works.
Ah, geez, they're not as progressive as they're coming off being.
Well, you don't usually put the Mr., Mrs., or I guess what are the pronouns for like Mr., Mrs. now?
Well, it's not Mrs. anymore. It's Ms.
Ms. Well, it's always been Ms. Don't they have other equivalents?
No, I'm saying MS. It's supposed to
Oh,
MRS or
well,
miss.
Yeah. I know that.
Yeah. Sexist.
That's for new associates. Existing associates. If you are an existing associate,
Okay.
what's the difference between new and existing? I mean, you're both existing, technically. You may request to update your display name to include your preferred first name. So please take the following steps, and they give an email address. I'm going to send something in. Just to cause some trouble. Just like I did with Allie's professor when I sent in a note. Well, that's a story for another time. And so it closes by saying, we are working hard to acknowledge and respect associates' personal name preference. Why would that be an issue? If you have a preferred first name, well, I guess you have a legal name. You sign up with the employer with your legal name.
Yeah.
And now this is just basically saying if you don't want your legal name. But anyway, it says, we're working hard to acknowledge and respect associates' personal name preferences as well as making the necessary changes throughout each of our brands and business units. Consistently using an associate's preferred name is one of the most basic ways to show your respect for an individual's identity. This is a key element to creating a safe space for every associate at our organization. We will continue to be a leader. We will continue to be a voice of change. Are you really a leader? Or are you just caving to the forces of wokeism? I mean...
Yeah. Oh, God. Every time they actually go in and sort of explain, I'm using air quotes here, what their newest cockamamie idea about some sort of social issue that had never been an issue up until 2016. Every time I hear it, my eyes just glaze over because I'm just like, it's word salad. What are you saying here? You have a lot of words that sound impressive, but they don't connect to anything that makes a cohesive statement. There's nothing here that makes any sense. I don't get it. Is it just me?
Know.
Is it just me?
No, it's not you.
Okay.
Not anymore, it isn't you.
No. Back in the day,
it used to be just you.
Yeah, it was just me.
But the times have caught up with you and your
that's
vision.
True. Well, that's right, because I am the CCC.
The CCC, the Chief Conspiracy Correspondent of the SmorgShow podcast.
Oh,
Marcia Malauskas.
Marcia Malauskas. Cheers to me. And my big ears.
Oh, man, that's nasty. Oh, that hurt. I tried these salted watermelon.
Oh. We're leaving that in the mix.
Oh, excuse me. My gosh.
Thanks, Chris. Boy, that's quite a reaction to salted watermelon. I hate to think what would happen to you if it was salted caramel.
So, the vaccinations are out.
Yeah.
My mom just had the vaccine. She got she was waiting for the J&J one.
Because she wanted one and done, right?
One and done. Her hands and her feet got really red. But she has a lot of allergies, so
almost matched her hair.
Yeah, it did. Fortunately, she was able to curb it with taking Benadryl, but she had to take 24 hours worth of one after another. Yeah.
Geez. But don't worry, folks. These things are absolutely safe. No real side effects. You're good to go.
You know what yeah, exactly. You know what I'm really starting to notice, though? This is the new way to get into a political discussion with somebody. So, have you had your vaccine?
Oh, God, yeah.
We were on a Zoom call with the family for a baby shower in the family a few weeks ago. You were out here for the last episode.
I remember that, yeah.
We're waiting to kill time until everybody joins. People join a little early. And while we're killing time, somebody opens up his mouth and says, "Has everybody had their vaccine?" And nobody's answering.
By the way, that person was jumping the gun because the vaccines were just getting rolled out. How do you think everybody in that particular circumstance, different age groups and everything, and they're all going to get the vaccine? Doesn't even make sense.
I don't know. It's just stirring up trouble.
Well, it definitely is doing that, but it's also the guy is pretty clueless. It's like, all right, we just had the vaccine for less than a month, and people over a certain age just get first priority, and everybody that's there, whether they're young or old, did y'all get the vaccine?
No.
What?
But it's what we were saying all along last year. We had to deal with, so everybody staying safe? No, I'm reckless. I'm going out into the population head first. I'm just diving into crowds.
Exactly.
Mosh pit.
Exactly.
I miss a good mosh pit.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I just think it's causing trouble, and then I think it's just going to get worse. But anyway, my mom got it. I think all my family now has got it. So, it's fine. I have nothing against people wanting to get it. It's just...
Well, it still should be an option. I thought we still had a constitution in this country. I thought we were still free to choose, but I don't know. Maybe that's changing, and nobody gave me the memo.
I thought so too. Well,
but they did give me a memo about I won't talk to it because
I'm still on the vaccine. So if you have something, let's hold
off.
Let's
hold off.
So apparently, Krispy Kreme. Have you heard about the Krispy Kreme incentive?
Yeah, but actually, I didn't get the particulars of the incentive. Excuse me. Sorry.
You get to come in for one free donut for the next year every day if you can prove that you had the vaccine. So,
that's
there's
stupid.
Earlier last week, for the rest of this year, they're going to offer a free glazed donut every time to anybody presenting a COVID-19 vaccination card. It's clearly intended to normalize vaccinations and hopefully incentivize those people who don't plan on getting vaccinated. 41% of Republicans and 34% of independents say they don't plan to get vaccinated. And they're afraid that overall is about a third of the population, which isn't enough to
get that magic herd immunity.
Herd immunity, yeah, they're concerned about that. But there's some health advocates that are saying,
well, here's the deal.
Krispy Kreme donut diet for the next year.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't die of COVID, but now my arteries are all blocked and I'm about to go in for a triple bypass. I guess I really did take care of my health, didn't I?
But if you die of a heart attack, it won't be because of heart attack.
No.
Because it'll be a COVID death.
Of course, because they'll have tested you. Oh, he had COVID. Or she. Or they.
They are coming out with, they're testing out a new drug, actually. Pfizer said that it has already started human trials for a new pill to treat the coronavirus. The pill is taken immediately upon first signs of the virus, and if the trials are successful, Pfizer's pill could be prescribed as a treatment for COVID-19 before the end of this year. The pill essentially works as a protease inhibitor, which blocks viral replication before patients get very ill. So,
it's a funny thing. I was seeing this, I think actually early last year that they had this sort of thing for a treatment for COVID. And the funny thing about it is it's been around for 60 years?
Yeah.
It was this thing called hydrochloroquine.
Oh, right. But you're a conspiracy theorist and a science denier if you even prescribe that or if you even suggest that is an option. Right?
Yeah, well, the science denier of a French doctor who used it on 1,000 patients, and they pretty much all of them got well from doing it. But yeah, he was probably a nut job. So quack. So
yeah. So I'm done with the vaccine talk. Sorry. If there's any episode that could get this podcast canceled, I think it's this one.
Probably. Hopefully nobody at Apple hears this. You'll be banned in one more country, the United States.
Yeah, that'll be next. That's what I'm shooting for. Then I know I've made it. Then I know I've got a following large enough to care.
Okay. Yeah.
What you got there for me, Jerry?
Oh, well, it was going back to the whole thing of inclusion, or no, the preferred names, whatever your preferred first name will be or whatever, and we want to be inclusive.
Sure.
In the company and all. Well, they're not the only company that's very concerned about this. I work for a library in the suburbs of Chicago. I won't tell you which one. But they're very much so interested in this that they're basically insisting that pretty much everybody check out a particular seminar that they want to do called Defining EDI and Putting It into Practice. Now, if you're wondering what EDI means, it means, let me get this right, equity, diversity, and inclusion. So if you don't think you know what those things are, they'll let you know. And they want you to, well, actually, they've asked that people in the department that I work at, the building service department, which is basically kind of the maintenance group, or, people that,
the maintenance,
the maintenance, the people that make sure that the library doesn't fall into the ground or whatever. Whatever.
It's very important.
The fixer up people. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Our department is going to be asked to participate in this to make sure that we can give our input in what those definitions of EDI are.
Okay.
As far as what we think that equity, diversity, and inclusion are. For me, it was always pretty simple. Growing up, it was something as simple as the golden rule. Yeah. Don't do unto others as you would not have them do unto you. Do unto those as you would have them do unto you.
Sure. Yeah.
Seemed like
it's a timeless principle.
It's in all the major religions. Nobody has. It's so obvious. It's so self-evident that every major philosophical and religious tradition figured that out.
Right.
So, what do these people think that are running this thing? What do they think they're going to be adding to this that can't be figured out by somebody who, the person who is kind of prone towards being a bigot?
Yeah.
They're not really going to change because you give them some long laundry list of terminology about how they should act in society, or these ideas. If they're a bigot, they're just going to pretend on the outside that they care about this stuff, and they're going to be a bigot on the inside anyway. So the fact of the matter is, what should be established early on is the fact: don't be a bigot, don't be narrow-minded,
right?
Don't marginalize people based on nothing, and that was something we used to have. We used to have trainings on how to be a better, employee.
Yeah.
How to treat our, the patrons of the library better, because that was based on the idea of treating people with respect, the respect that you would want to be treated with yourself. Going back to the golden rule.
Yeah.
So It's just a very interesting situation that you keep finding yourself. We're going over things that have, I think, already been well defined for centuries, but somehow. In 2020, we don't get them. We don't understand. We need to be told how to be, treat people equally and be inclusive. Because we I don't know what happened in the past couple of years. We forgot it, but I guess we did. So we need to be retrained. So I guess that's what.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was about it.
No, that's good.
Oh, we're going to talk about the Dr. Seuss. Did you want to talk about those?
Oh, we can bring it up. That's happened since our last episode, right?
Oh, yeah, because I don't think you talked about it last time, about that basically the Dr. Seuss estate has decided to, I think, stop publishing 6 titles within
the 6.
6 titles in the Dr. Seuss oeuvre. Whatever the list of books that they publish.
Yeah.
So, as I work at a library, this also affects me to some extent too. We got a email from our director of our library about how to deal with the situation, how to deal with the problem of these problematic books, and
that weren't a problem just a month ago.
Yeah, pretty much until Dr. Seuss. The state said, this is terrible. And basically what she had said in her email is that, some libraries are dealing with like taking the books off the shelf. Other ones are, putting them in a special place, I guess, or something. So they're not you don't want to poison young minds.
You need a safe space.
Yeah, they're in their own safe space then. And then other ones are, which is what I agree with, basically ignoring it. Ignoring the tempest in the teapot, which is what it basically is.
Yeah.
And so our library has kind of done that middle road. We're not going to ban the books in our library, but we'll keep them in a special place, a safe space, if you will, the parent-teacher collection, so that kids won't come across these books and be unduly traumatized and seeing them outside, without context. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
Are you finished with that? Because that just reminded me of the other thing that I have the email, if it's okay to read some of it, that you got from your library.
Okay, sure. As long as you don't mention specific names.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think this is the one. Everyone, mm-hmm. We recently learned of a situation that involves a current library board trustee, and I wanted you all to be aware that we all know that we are aware of it. In summary, library trustee, person's name is listed here, which I won't reveal.
Thank you.
Apparently they're seeking a seat on the village board,
mm-hmm.
Allegedly used the N-word,
mm-hmm.
while discussing the,
there was a problem with some bullying at a nearby high school, I think.
Yeah.
Of black students, I should say.
Actually, this is not the one I wanted to read. What was the other one with the response that supposedly some parent wrote back, said that our child...
Oh, yeah. That's another one. I'm surprised you don't have that one.
Yeah, I've got this here.
Yeah. But that one you're mentioning, I wanted to say something specifically about that before you go to the next.
Sure.
The person in question...
Oh, here it is, yeah.
Which, when faced with the accusations and everything, and what was actually, I guess, a sort of... I don't know what the particular meeting was, if it was something, but it has something to do with bullying and all of that sort of thing in, I guess, the community, specifically in the high school that won't be mentioned. She was using the term, the N-word term, as a way of describing the actual words that other students were using against black kids. So it was... You see, the thing is, a lot of these tempests and teapots is like they're always done out of context. So you hear the salacious big, oh, they used the N-word. Oh, can you believe that? And the thing was, they took out the part that said she was using it to demonstrate that this word was being used in a hurtful way, and that we needed to, address that issue.
It wasn't just using it casually in a
sentence. No, it wasn't like,
they
had those, blah, 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 and there are a bunch of blah, 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 blah. It was more along the lines she was trying to actually point out the severity of the problem, and so it had nothing to do with her having she was actually concerned about the bullying of black students at this. But again, that's never really talked about.
No. And sorry I went down that path. I meant to read this other email. There's so many coming out of your line of industry, your industry here. So I just wanted to pull one of these up, and I got him confused.
PC Central here.
This one is saying, another one to everybody on the staff. We've been trying on many fronts to increase our awareness and services in relation to equity, diversity, and inclusion, EDI.
Mm-hmm.
I know it will be an ongoing journey, and it will be rough at times, but today... we received a compliment from a patron that struck at the heart at what we are trying to do. Thanks to the team for putting our ideas into actions. And supposedly this came in, I don't know, an email or some sort of a letter. Hello, my name is... my kids go to...
blank.
And I didn't know who to contact to express my gratitude regarding the library resource guide we got in the mail.
From my particular library.
Yeah. From your library, yeah. My 8-year-old son got the mail from our mailbox and ran with so much joy to me and his sister and screamed, Mama, look what we got in the mail from the library. They have pictures of people that look like us on it. My 11-year-old daughter was so excited to see it. Oh, was excited to see it and asked me if we can hang it on the wall as we did. We love the programs in it and will be signing up for more of the same in the future. Thank you.
Hanging it on the wall?
Really? Did your 8-year-old really come rushing in saying, Mama, look, they've got pictures that look people that look like us on it.
They're so inclusive.
Oh, they're so inclusive.
I feel so great about it. We're going to hang it on the wall because we're so happy.
Sorry, I call BS. BS on a scale of 1 to 10, probably on at least an 8.
Yeah.
I don't believe any 8-year-old thinks that way.
Personally, on a scale of 1 to 10, I call it 11.
Maybe.
But the point, yeah, so because that stuff, to me, it almost sounds like something you would see in an Onion article back when Onion was funny.
Now it's real.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So I think they're pretty woke over there too.
Oh.
But regardless of any of that, it does not ring true. It's like, oh my God, there's a person that got the same skin tone and hair color as I do. Mother, let's hang this on the wall. The library doesn't think we're second-class citizens. Yay!
If they're really saying that, it's because of the parents that brought them up to think that way. There's no way an 8-year-old thinks that way.
When I was a kid, I probably noticed that, certain kids looked a little bit differently than me, but they were all kids.
Right.
Until an adult comes in a situation and inserts their adult wisdom into the proceedings. You kids, I don't like that kid because he acts this way, or I don't like that kid because when he talks, he wheezes, or she, dirty all the time. That's how kids would think about what other kids were and what they did.
Yeah.
They're dork, or that guy's cool, or this person's that.
Right.
That was it. That's what kids thought. Then adults come in and say, well, they're that group, and you should think this way. If you don't do that, then that's never really going to be an issue. So, on one end of the spectrum where you're saying, they're that, they're dirty, they're rotten, they're blah blah blah, that's bad. Now you're going the other direction. You're saying, oh, well, we're so oppressed, or we're so marginalized, it's so bad, and all these people are, and then something comes up. We never get represented in society, and then we get this thing in the mail that's, it's us. Oh, we're represented in society. Oh, we're great. Both are damaging to not only the psyche of the kid, but just what's going to go into the future with society. This kind of thinking permeates, and then people we look 5 years back, and it's like, and we look now, it's like, what the heck happened? Well, imagine what it's going to be in the next 5 years or the next 10 years past this point.
Yeah.
If people aren't going to be actually walking up and down the streets, mumbling to themselves, bumping into things because they don't know what to think anymore, I don't know. But now you're seeing, and I don't like, and it kind of sucks to get so topical about this stuff, but it seems like every time you turn around, there's something that's being kind of forced into your consciousness. You and I, we just want to live our lives, interact with people. Yeah, we have flaws, and we probably have maybe some prejudice, maybe even still have some prejudices but we're working on it. We strive to be better people, regardless of what the background, or what our background is, what their background is. So that's the thing. That's supposed to be where we're going with this. We're not supposed to be fixating constantly on some sort of wedge issue that only hurts. The funny thing is about these wedge issues, it's all saying it's about us breaking down the barriers and making the world more inclusive, but when you keep fixating on these wedge issues, it actually ends up making people more divided.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The thing that they claim they're trying to push is not actually accomplished, and the actual opposite is what's accomplished.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There you go. All right. There we go. That's why we pay you the big bucks at this show here.
Oh, God. My head hurts. I could have another swig of whiskey.
That's really it. I mean, I had one more article here, but I don't think I want to go into it. Something about some military installations that there's been stuff flying over it that nobody knows what it is. UFOs.
That's funny you should mention it.
Do you know anything about this?
Well, no, but I've been actually, the reports of UFOs and this stuff has actually been increasing in the past couple of years, especially I'd say from 2019 on,
Exactly.
and especially in 2020, there was a lot of talk about UFO sightings. And there is a guy I follow on YouTube. He's got some very interesting points, and I don't want to make too long of a story of this, but he says that in times of great social and mental stress, sightings of these sort actually increase.
Oh.
So that if we're like, I don't know, like what happened after 9/11 or whatever, but we certainly know with COVID and what happened in 2020 and all the riots and stuff like that, that was a time of great psychic stress for the human race in general, certainly here in the West and especially in the United States. So sights of these things actually, at least according to what he said, have been observed to actually increase. So if the world is feeling more unstable socially and that sort of upheavals going on, expect to see more of that.
There we go. We don't have to cover this then. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's why you pay me
That's why I pay you the big bucks. In booze.
The big pennies.
Well, I thought in honor of Dr. Seuss being canceled, that here at the SmorgShow podcast, we want to show our support for him. I'd like to play something that Allie and I did several years back. You maybe remember this from the original Chris and Dave show.
It's from the album, huh?
What's that?
It's from your album. Your album, not Philip Donald's, but your album.
My album, no, it never made it on the. You're talking about Cow Dung and Chicken Tongue?
Yeah, didn't it make it on there?
It didn't make it on there. No, this was a bonus track. I guess never made it on there. No. Actually, it was a caller that came. We had Talent Line back then.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And this band, and I use the term loosely, called up and they said, "Hey, we have a song for you."
What were they called again?
The HPs, which stood for Hop on Pop, which was, of course, a big Dr. Seuss title.
Yeah.
And I didn't piece it together back then. I didn't make the connection until a little bit later. But anyway, it was this teenage band.
Hop on Pop. That sounds like a case of elder abuse.
Leave Joe Biden out of this. Okay. They did this Mr. Brown Can Moo.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a classic bit from the Chris and Dave show. But then years later, when we were launching the SmorgShow podcast, and I was trying to recreate some of the things we did, Allie and I put this together, and she did the keyboards. Mm-hmm. I use the term loosely. It's more of the percussion that she used with her keyboard. I said, put something together that
emulates that,
yeah. So she did, and I think this came out pretty good, and I think it's just timely for Dr. Seuss. So I'd like to play it. Mr. Brown Can Moo, one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. I used to read this to her when she was a baby, so it's very touching to me.
It made me cry.
So here we go on the SmorgShow podcast.
Oh, the wonderful things Mr. Brown can do.
Okay, hold on a second. Kill the. Where's the How do I turn the lounge off?
Where's the piano player? Tell him to shut up.
Oh my gosh.
He will not stop. And now here we go.
Okay. Let's try this again. Take 2. Mr. Brown Can Moo.
Oh, the wonderful things Mr. Brown can do. He can go like a cow. He can go moo, moo. Mr. Brown can do it. How about you? He can go like a bee. Mr. Brown can buzz. How about you? Can you go buzz? He can go like a cork. Pop, pop, pop. He can go like horse feet. Clop, clop, clop. He can go eek, eek like a squeaky shoe.
He can go like a rooster, cock-a-doodle doo. He can go like an owl, hoo, hoo, hoo. Eek, 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 cock-a-doodle doo. Hoo, 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 hoo. How about you? He can go like the rain, dibble, 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 dop. Dibble, 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 dop, dop, dop. He can go like a train, choo, choo, choo. Oh, the wonderful things Mr. Brown can do. Moo, moo, buzz, buzz, pop, pop, pop. Eek, eek, hoo, hoo, clop, clop, clop. Dibble, dibble, dop, dop, cock-a-doodle doo. Mr. Brown can do it. How about you? Mr. Brown can whisper very soft, very high, like the soft whisper of a butterfly. Maybe you can too. I think you ought to try. He can go like a horn, blurp, blurp, blurp. Like a big cat drinking, slurp, slurp, slurp. He can go like a clock. He can tick, he can tock.
He can go like a hand
Knock,
on
knock,
a
knock.
door.
Tick tock, knock, knock, knock. Oh, the wonderful things Mr. Brown can do. Blurp, blurp, slurp, slurp, cock-a-doodle doo. Knock, 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 and hoo, hoo, hoo. He can even sizzle, sizzle, he can do that too. Like an egg in a frying pan, how about you? Mr. Brown is smart as they come. He can do a hippopotamus chewing gum. Grum, 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 grum. Mr. Brown is so smart, he can even do this. He can even make a noise like a goldfish kiss. Pip. Boom, boom, boom. Mr. Brown is a wonder. Boom, boom, boom. Mr. Brown makes thunder. He makes lightning. Splat, splat, splat. And it's very, very hard to make a noise like that. Oh, the wonderful things Mr. Brown can do. Moo, moo, buzz, buzz, pop, pop, pop. Eek, eek, hoo, hoo, clop, clop, clop. Dibble, dibble, dop, dop, cock-a-doodle doo. Grum, 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 choo, choo, choo. Boom, boom, splat, splat, tick, tick, tock. Sizzle, sizzle, blurp, blurp, knock, knock, knock. A slurp and a whisper and a fish kiss too. Mr. Brown can do it. How about you?
Some cutting edge hip hop there.
Because I love kids. I love kids.
Yeah, I just love Oh, good old Phil.
Oh, Philip, we miss you. We get you back in the studio again, although we have to expand our operation here in order to make that happen.
Physically
expand the walls. Yeah, it's quite tight in here since he was here last.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic. Jerry, I think this has been a great time. This hour and a half has gone by so fast, honestly.
Yeah, I hope it's the same thing for the listener.
I hope so too.
Moo, moo, moo.
Buzz, buzz, pop, pop, cock-a-doodle doo. Hey, this
How
trivia
about
contest.
you?
Name the podcast episode of the SmorgShow that had 2 instances of rooster references, and this would be it.
Oh, us? Oh, yeah, there you go. Yes.
The closing thing. All right, this is the Smorgasbord Radio Show. Thank you, Jerry, for coming out, as always.
Anytime. You know, I'm always here for you.
Thank you.
I'm your comedy, well, you know what.
Yeah.
On a moment's notice.
Exactly. Just a train drive away. Train ride away. Oh boy, the whiskey's kicking in. All right, let me just end it while we can. Feedback at SmorgShowPodcast.com is our email address. 312-95-SMORG. Thanks for coming. We'll be back in short order, I'm sure. Take care.
Toodles, everyone.